Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your girl, Steph Lover. Once again, it's on and popping. Excuse me. Let me clear my throat. Hats and Heels is in full effect. Hard hats and high heels with DJ Kool.
Yes, indeed, DMV.
Now, hold up, Kool.
Yeah.
I read your Wikipedia, and it said your first name start with a J. I'm just trying to figure out how we...
It starts with a D.
Oh, hey, Valentine's Day.
J. Kool. That is my official government name. I just got it changed yesterday before I came.
I was really gonna. Are you serious? Did you really get a check?
No, I should though.
So you gonna write you a check to DJ Kool?
I should.
You could.
You know what I'm saying?
How did you become DJ Kool?
Woo.
Are you? First of all, are you a real physical DJ?
Yes, ma'am.
That's just not a. You're not a mixtape DJ. Like
No.
You're not in the studio like add the drop right here and then play that song. Not that kind of. You a real DJ.
No. I started in the clubs here in 1978, maybe 1979.
Way back.
Yeah, started a place called the Paragon 2.
They just opened the Paragon back up, didn't they?
I don't.
Or the
think
Paradigm.
So. Paradigm.
Right. We
thing.
in the D.C., Maryland, Virginia area, just so y'all know.
Now, Paragon 2 used to be up on Wisconsin Avenue, up on Upper Wisconsin Avenue.
Okay.
And I worked there from 80.
But wait a minute, Wisconsin Avenue
Yes.
is like super corporate and re-gentrified now? So you saying it was fucked up back then?
No, it was still white folks up there then.
They was rocking with the go-go?
Yeah,
Or they let y'all rock
we
the go?
We did a little bit of everything back then.
Okay,
you know what I'm
that's
saying?
interesting.
As a matter
to
of fact, live entertainment didn't come in there till probably the end of my run there. I was there from 1979 to 1982.
You definitely don't smoke weed because your memory is really good. Like, I can definitely see this already. You're not allowed campaign, guys. So this nigga's about to say October 12th, about 6:45 a.m. I was there last time. Like,
So no, I actually started as a club DJ.
Right.
My mentor in this game is Arthur Maniac McLeod.
Never
who
heard
would
of
be,
him.
but see, if you were here, you would know exactly who he is. He was a prominent DJ, in the mid 70s to maybe early 80s.
So how'd you hook up with him? Like you guys went to school or you just fell in love with the music?
Because
it wasn't hip hop back then. It was strictly go-go here.
Right. Well, it was go-go and funk music and R&B and stuff like that.
But it was really R&B laced. Hip hop shit wasn't even invented then, more or less, right?
For
Not
me,
mainstream.
Right. Arthur Maniac McLeod would probably be the New York equivalent to maybe Bambaataa, maybe Kool Herc.
Okay. Speaking of which, R.I.P. Love Bug Star
Yes,
Ski.
indeed.
That just happened a week or so ago, so we got to give props to the vets.
And so my equivalent to New York, I would be equivalent to somebody like, I don't know, maybe Flash or somebody. Me and Grandmaster Flash is the same age. All right. So, but no, I've been a club DJ since around 79, but I started DJing around 77, 78.
Okay. So what made you get into that? You were always a lover of music? Like, is your family, musicians and stuff like that? Because it wasn't hip-hop, go-go. None of that was mainstream. So where did you get your fix?
At home. My mother and my father were into a lot of music. Getting up Sunday mornings, my mother playing all types of music, you know what I mean? My father had a stack of 45s and albums and whatnot. You know?
Not Coke 45, but stack of 45s,
stack of 45s and
Not
albums.
Coke 45.
And everything, and just hearing all the music growing up.
Right.
Later on, when I did get a chance to see Maniac McLeod, he was working at a club called The Room that used to be on 12th and New York Avenue, which is a club that I later became, I was the last DJ at The Room from 1982 to 1986.
Again,
And
those brain cells are intact.
And he was the one
Minus
that kind of
that loud
passed
gang.
me the baton.
Right.
But before then, I was going club hopping and whatnot. And Maniac McLeod it was him and everybody else. You dig what I'm saying? So everybody was checking for him.
Did you see it as a way of making a living, or you just saw it as kind of fun, the equivalent to having a hobby, maybe?
It was never, ever a hobby for me.
From the gate. It was always serious business. This is
what
what I want to do. Okay.
Well, even before that, I always wanted to be in the music industry because I was a big P-Funk fan. So I called myself, one day I'm going to be playing keyboards for Parliament. Okay? And so shout out to Bernie Worrell, who was the greatest keyboard player ever.
Y'all about to get a history lesson. I hope y'all listening up. This is about to be a history lesson here today, okay?
We're not even going to get into that because that'd be a whole other story. But when I seen Maniac McCloud, I was like, okay, that's what I want to do. So I seen Maniac as a DJ. He influenced me as a DJ, but then Melly Mel influenced me as an MC.
Yeah, so when did that come about? You just said, you know what, this DJ thing's not making the kind of bread that I really, the guy on the mic is really the star, you know what I mean? The DJ's like the background dancer.
For me, like, well, obviously I always mixed the two, you know what I mean? And I didn't know that there were DJs going on in New York that was doing stuff like that. People like Starsky, you know what I mean? Grandmaster Caz, all of these cats. But back then, I didn't see them, but I did hear them. I heard them on mixtapes that people from New York, when I was playing at the Room, which is, we're fast forwarding a little bit, but when I was playing at the Room, it used to be right there on 12th and New York Avenue Northwest, and it was right across the street from a Trailways and Greyhound bus station. It was right across the street. So a lot of people from New York used to come in the Room. As a matter of fact, one of our friends, Rob Love, okay, he used to come and see me. He said, Kool, I remember seeing you when I was 16 years old, getting in the Room.
Rob Love from Def Jam. Big
there
shout
it
to
is,
Def
you dig
Jam.
what I'm saying? And so I would hear all of this stuff going on. I heard early Grandmaster Flash tapes. I heard early on when Run was a DJ for Curtis Blow.
I don't think they was mixtapes. I think they was 8 tracks back then. You know what I'm saying? The big bricks and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't think they was...
These guys were bringing me, Steph, you know what? No, these folks were, a lot of cats were bringing me cassette tapes from New York. Like, man, listen to this, and everything. And so I got a lot of it from there. So between the stuff that I seen Maniac doing and the stuff that I heard Flash and all these cats doing, I just kind of put it together.
Yeah, because you're the first guy. I gotta give you props for the first one, to my knowledge, and I'm just came down here in the 90s to go to Howard, but I remember you being the guy that I heard about most incorporating the two, hip-hop and go-go.
Yes.
You know what I mean? What made you, just your love for both genres?
Yes. I mean, I'm from D.C., and I say I'm going to do this hip-hop thing, but I wanted people to know first and foremost that I'm from here, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That's
you
why
did it your way. You definitely did. Sinatra, he did it.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So that was my whole idea from the gate.
And what was the first thing you recorded as DJ Kool?
The Music Ain't Loud Enough, 1986.
Wow.
Very first hip-hop record to come out of here and go national. In 1986.
Where'd you record that at? Or did you do it like live?
No.
Because you got this live thing down pat.
We're going to move that. We're going to fast forward to that in a minute. That was years later, but in 86, I don't remember the name of the studio right now, but I know that I did a record with a guy named, Deke DeBerry. He was an independent record promoter at the time. May God rest his soul. He used to come down to the Room and bring me a stack of records. You know how the record reps would always come.
Back in the day.
You know, boom. So he was one of those guys. And this one particular time he came to me and he was like, Kool, man, you ever thought about, making records? I say, well, that's why I'm in this. I wanted to use DJing as a stepping stone to becoming an artist. So you was always
thinking that.
You do what I'm saying? Yeah. Because when I heard King Tim III, right, with Fatback Band, and then when I heard Rapper's Delight, I was like, I'm going to do that. And so once again, back to Maniac McCloud, he was your DJ / MC. That's
Hype
the first
crowd,
time that I seen that.
See, MC, for all the chitlins out there, it used to be, master of ceremony. Basically you were the ringleader.
That's right.
You were the guy that, has everything going around and focus the attention on that's where technically the word MC came from. You know what I'm saying? So
he was the first guy that I actually seen doing that. But once again, I'm still hearing this on these these live tapes and whatnot coming from New York. So I was like, this is what I want to do. And he asked me, he said, man, anyway, what is it? So we go in the studio.
No formal training, nothing.
No. Well, I mean, because I'm a DJ, so I kind of pretty much know, how to put this music together anyway. So we go in the studio, and he said, I want you to do a mix on this group. He had a R&B group called 0 Hour. So we in doing the mix and everything. And so then when they asked me the question about being an artist, I was like, yes. So we came in, and this is a real story. This is a true story.
Oh.
I had a dream the night before. The night before I came in the studio, and I dreamt the whole song, The Music Ain't Loud Enough. Every sample, every verse, everything. So I came in the next day, I had a stack of records in my hand.
Wait a minute, you tell me you dreamt the song. Cool.
I lied to you not. If I'm lying, I'm flying, and you see I ain't flying right now.
Big
At least
to be
not
a
yet,
bird?
anyway.
Okay.
So anyway, they had I had a stack of records in my hand that had every sample that I was going to use, and if you go back and listen to all my music, it's very sample heavy.
That's when it didn't cost shit.
Right.
You know what I
I
mean?
got away with a lot of stuff, so peace to all those
After
folks
they
that let
got
me get away with that.
Bismarck,
Right,
shit
right.
changed.
It's changed the whole game. So anyway, we had it was a sampler called an emulator that was out at that time, and that was the only sampler that I knew of that was hot at that time. So we went in, put everything together. I want a kick from this record. I want a snare from this record. I want the drum pattern to go like this. It was a go-go loop that I used for the DC version of Music Ain't Loud Enough, which came from a record by EU called The Cabbage Patch.
Damn.
So I used that.
Cool, hold on. You hurt my brain. I gotta slow down. This is a lot of information, y'all. I hope y'all keeping up, because this is why I want to talk to you. You're like, just this time machine of, the DMV area. So, all right, I'm up to speed now. Go ahead.
So anyway, to make a long story short, Music Ain't Loud Enough came out, took off, and I guess the rest is history. So now going to the live thing, and I had several records out after that that did very well. As a matter of fact.
No, let's build on The Music Ain't Loud Enough.
Okay.
So when you took that record out of town, how did people react? Because the first kind of go-go record I remember is like Bustin' Loose.
Okay.
That had that, African rhythm kind of drum, so your record, I can't say I remember it. I know what it is. I can't say I remember it like off the top, but that's what I remember is I feel like bustin', and I was like, give me the bread, and it was different because it wasn't an R&B song. And it wasn't.
Yes and no.
A traditional, Nita Baker, it wasn't an R&B song. And it wasn't an outright funk song either. So it was kind of like a hybrid.
Well, the difference between my thing and Chuck's thing is Chuck is, live musicianship. My stuff is a bunch of samples from live musicians and everything. And so, you know what I mean?
Were you ever a beatboxer though?
No.
Because, a lot of your music is your ad-libs, the sounds, and you know what I'm saying?
That's
the crowd and response.
That's me. Yeah. That's me in the club. That's my go-go background. That's my old school hip hop background because back in the day you had all the call and response going on in the old school hip hop as well. You know what I mean? And a little sing-songy type of rhymes when you go back to people like
Party Over Here.
Yeah,
say ho.
Treacherous 3, Crash Crew, and all of them.
They
a lot
have
of their
routines,
songs, yes, and they sang a little bit as opposed to just doing straight.
Force and D's. I grew up in Staten Island, and it was like, we came in on the rock, let me love you. And then they would go into, so it was more showmanship, which I loved, which I think made you stand out from a lot of maybe the other go-go bands, artists, and stuff. Were you ever in a go-go band, like a feature too?
No. They would always bring me up, like we got DJ Kool in the house when Ray Essence was playing. Come on up, or when Chuck was playing. Come on up here, DJ Kool. So they would always bring me up because
you was always your own entity.
Yeah, because by then I had all these records out. From '86 to '96, I had a song on the Billboard charts every year. From 1986, which Music Ain't Loud Enough, all the way up. Wikipedia probably will or will not say that, but because they even got some stuff in there wrong anyway. So we can't go with Wikipedia all the time because they don't know what they're talking about a lot. But anyway, right, let's throw that away. Thank you, because I'm here and I can tell you the real deal. So anyway,
So right there, hold up, stop. So what you said that was like a 10-year span. I'm looking here. How come you never signed to a major then? They didn't understand.
Baby, that's
what
a
you was
whole
putting out.
Other story.
Because that's what it feels like. Like if it's about making money, then I don't give a shit what kind of music it is. Like a lot of people right now don't understand trap music, but that's what's hot right now. And they're gonna put it out because it makes money. I don't think a lot of the 60-year-old white guys up at Universal think trap music is the shit. I think they think this is what makes money.
Well, I could tell you this. I have had a lot of what I would like to call close calls. A lot of very interesting stories, some Def Jam stories.
Oh, please do tell. Do tell.
I have some Rockefeller.
Really?
A Rockefeller story. A bunch of like very, very close
Okay,
calls.
I want to hear the Def Jam and the Rockefeller. I'll leave the rest alone.
The
Def Jam story.
Let's talk about the Rockefeller one real quick,
Okay.
because that was the shortest one.
That had to be recent in the last 5 to 10 years.
Well, nah, this was back when Clear My
Rockefeller's how
Throat.
old? How old is Rockefeller?
This was way back. This is when Clear My Throat was popping. Also, we talking over
Shit,
20
Rockefeller
years.
been gone around that long?
Yes.
Damn, okay.
Dame and Jay. You know what I mean? For sure.
The first version, yeah.
Right, exactly. When they was cool.
Yeah.
In the beginning.
Pun intended.
There you go.
When they was cool.
Ding. Okay.
Yeah, we need.
Yeah, we need a bell. To make a long story short, they were, Dame Dash was interested in signing me to Rockefeller. And we were very, very close. The only reason why I didn't sign to Rockefeller is because I had already signed to American.
And that's all y'all gonna get.
There you go. I like the way you did that.
Yeah, can't give because I need them to watch the real
Right,
one.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
So,
Are you live to?
Yeah, I'm live.
Okay.
All right, well,
Excellent.
bring that down. Check out the real podcast coming soon.
All right.
Let's give them a few minutes of it.
So that's why
This
that
be there.
didn't
We don't want to
happen.
give them money away. Hold up. Hold tight.
So anyway, now the Def Jam story is a lot more interesting. One night.
Hold up. I missed the Rockefeller story.
No, that was it.
Happened?
That was it.
Did anybody catch the Rockefeller
That was
story?
it.
V,
That was it.
That was it.
Did
That
he
was
holler
it.
at you and
And we didn't do it because I was about to sign.
he's already?
Yeah, to American.
Any regrets in that aspect of it?
No.
Could have the first guy from the DMV.
It was on the plane when they came to you and all that.
Oh, they flew
Yeah.
here for you?
No. We were going. Where were we going, Vex? Probably the Carolinas or something.
Vex me in the building. Question mark of salad. What's up, Vex?
Wasn't it Orlando? Was it?
That part I don't remember.
It was somewhere else.
So you had him in the
was
air? Shit, I was been like,
We
man,
was-
let's finish this negotiation before this shit lands.
No, but just like I said, I was already with American
Right, I
at the
got
time. But the reason why I don't regret that situation is because, you see, that fell apart, and I would have been on the Dame Dash side as opposed to the Jay-Z side.
Right.
Now, who knows? Maybe I could have worked my way over to the Jay-Z side.
Kind of like
because
Kanye did.
Yeah, because me and
I'm
Jay,
telling you,
me and Jay was real cool back then.
man, let
We
me tell you,
probably still
I did a hip hop show with Dame Dash. We did rock radio.
Okay.
And that's the first time I met Kanye. He brought him through, this brilliant producer, and he was just got the wire off his mouth. You know what I mean? Just got the Rockefeller chain. So I have to give it to Dame. Dame was the guy that found the talent. He always was the guy that found the talent, even from back in the days when he used to manage. I want to say. Oh my God, it escapes me right now. But he wound up managing the guy that did Who You With. They were in a group. Original. God damn. To the guy behind the scenes.
Ding.
Not Jazzo, but Original Flavor. You know what I'm talking about. But him and Jazzo was
Ding, ding,
cool
ding.
back
That's
then,
our
right?
bell.
Yeah.
That's our bell.
So, all of that was happening, and we had rock radio, and, even from then, that's kind of when it was like Kanye came through, I want to say Rihanna, but I think that was kind of a
More
mutual.
on the Jay-Z
Yeah, that was
side,
kind of
though.
a mutual. That was when Jay got the Def Jam. But Dame was the guy that found the talent. That was for sure. And I do know that at some point Kanye, made a business
Oh, yeah.
decision. You know what I'm saying? So
For me, now let's fast forward to the Def Jam story, which is
really fast forwarding, but flashing back.
yes, exactly.
Right.
So
I
there we
love
go.
it.
All right,
The Def Jam
Here we go.
story.
Boom. One night I'm playing at the Ibex. I used to do Thursday nights at the Ibex.
Yeah, fuck whoever knocked the Ibex down too. That was my favorite spot, yo. Damn.
Yes, indeed.
Bunch of
Ibex.
condos.
All right.
Shit.
So anyway, This cat came up to me and said, Kool, you know, Russell Simmons up in here. Damn, Russell. He said, yes, he is. He's over there by the bar. I'm like, okay. So he said, he came here to see you. I'm like, get out of here. So I'm going. Next thing you know, here comes Russell Simmons coming up in the DJ booth. I'm like, oh, shit. So I introduced myself. He said, I already know who you are.
Oh, don't that feel good?
He says,
oh my God.
He says, I'm down here doing promotions for a new artist that I have named Allison Williams, right? And he said, I've been going to maybe 4 or 5 clubs tonight. Every club that I go to, every time one of your songs come on,
everybody go crazy.
So he said, I want to talk to you. I want to talk some business with you. All right. He said, are you playing tomorrow night? I said, yes, I'll be at the East Side, which I was doing that on Fridays. He said, that's one of the spots I'm supposed to be coming to tomorrow night anyway.
Listen, Russell was in them streets,
All right.
boy.
So here he comes. Russell coming in the East Side.
In the East Side? Who
Yes.
remember the East Side?
Friday
Where
night.
DC at?
All right. So he comes up in there and he said, listen, he said, who does your production? I said, well, I do all my own production. I write everything. I said, I'm self-contained. I said, but I'm a big fan of Hank Shockley's, right? Hank Shockley.
P.E.
Yes.
Public
So
Enemy producer.
He looks me square in my eyes and he said, fuck Hank. I like what you do.
Oh!
I'm like, okay, let me shut up.
Russell could say that too.
So then he says, look, I want to bring you to New York and I want to sit down and talk to you about some business. All right, boom. So the next thing you know, me and my DJ at the time, DJ Gary L. Drew.
Wait a minute, DJ Kool had a DJ?
Yeah, because that was performing, right?
I got
so
you.
anyway, so me and Gary, well, we're finally in New York and we're in the Def Jam office. And what's my boy?
Kevin Lyles?
No, way before Kevin Lyles. I got a Kevin Lyles story too.
Oh, shit.
Wes Party Johnson, right, who was another DJ that I grew up listening to in the Maniac McClure era, but he wound up being the national director of promotions for Def Jam at the time.
Okay, yeah.
Right? So he's up there, and I had a cassette tape of a song that I was ready to do called "What the Hell You Come In Here For." That was 1980. 87, 88. Anyway, let him hear the tape. He's like, this is crazy. He said, you good as signed. We just waiting for Russell to get here. Russell never shows up.
The day you were supposed to sign?
He never showed up. Never came to the meeting. So.
What?
Right. Russell was, fast forward a couple of years. Fast
Wait,
forward.
a couple of years. Hold
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
Sign the
This
Def
is the next
Jam.
time that I
I'm
seen
not
him.
leaving. Fuck you, mean? I'm about to get signed. I'm not going nowhere. Y'all better send a Batman
I
kite to
didn't
Russell or
know
some shit.
where
I'm not
this
going
dude
nowhere.
was
Y'all
at.
better get Rick Rubin in this bitch or
I was
something.
like, you know what? I was like,
What?
that's all right. I said, I'm going home. I'm gonna be all
The
right.
next day, no call, no nothing. That was it?
I didn't see Russell again till 1990. Remember Jack the Rapper, the music conference?
Oh,
Jack the Rapper?
hell yeah, I remember
Okay.
Jack the Rapper.
I
That's
seen
why I
him-
see Tupac and Luke go at it.
I
Boy,
was
remember
there.
that? I was there.
I was there. We survived. Anyway.
That was a So
Anyway.
Deaf got introduced.
Yes,
Because I
indeed.
remember they giving out the So Deaf. My memory is pretty good too. And I do indulge from time to time. But
He says, congratulations on your big record. He was talking about reggae dance. And I said, thank you. I said, but that was supposed to be your big record.
Kool, you too nice. And
He
everything
says,
would have been
no.
like, these nuts!
I was digging into him.
That's that DC
You know what I'm
political
saying?
shit
I'm
in you.
digging
You know how to
into
play
him.
it.
I said, no, that was supposed to be your big record. So I wanted to see what he was going to say back. He says, more words or less. He said, cool, I'm fucked up. Can you say fucked up?
Yeah, you can say fucked up. Because you just said it.
Exactly. So.
You can say it.
No, he said, cool, I'm fucked up, man. He said, I just dropped 7 acts. He said, I wanted you here, but I couldn't do nothing for you.
Yo, that is mad
That
real.
was right
that
around
just
the
gave me a
time.
chill. That's mad
That was
real.
right around the time that him and Rick Rubin start parting their ways, and Rick Rubin has Deaf American, and then Russell Stewart.
You know what, Kool? You're the coolest. You have the perfect name because me, when I was an MC, I would have forced that whole issue. I would have been like, nah, fuck that. You made me come all the way up here. So I'm going to give. So I applaud that you said, you know what? Pfft, it is what it is.
But see, look what would have happened.
Because you probably would have been one of those that got dropped.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So it's better to not have signed and, you know what I mean? But you might have got signed, had that big record, and saved Def Jam, Kool. You could have been a Def Jam savior.
Hey.
Shit.
They had too much stuff
We'd have
going
been
on
talking
over
about
there.
it. Would have been DJ Kool picture on this shit. It would have said no 30-year anniversary without DJ Kool in this mother.
I came very, very close. So I
love
left that
those
situation.
kind of stories,
I
yo.
left those situations alone. Then here's another Def Jam situation. Now let's talk about the Kevin Lyles story.
Right.
Kevin Lyles' story is very interesting. Kevin Lyles is from Baltimore.
Be more, how you gonna curb?
Kevin Lyles used to be in a group called the New Marks.
Kevin Lyles was an artist? Kevin Lyles was an artist.
He was with a group called, he was a teenager then.
Yeah.
And they had a song called Girl, You Know It's True. The producer.
I just thought of Milli Vanilli right there.
Well, no, we're about to get to that.
Okay.
We're about to get to that.
Like,
we're gonna show you
Kevin
how.
Lyles was Vanilli?
We're gonna show you how that came into play.
Okay.
The guy that produced that record and who actually was doing production for the New Marks is a guy named Bill Pettaway. Bill Pettaway produced the song "Girl, You Know It's True."
Okay.
Right, and I don't know exactly how the story goes, but the end result was, I guess he signed the rights to Milli Vanilli some way or somehow, and that's how that.
Wait a minute. Are you
happened.
telling me Kevin Lyles, the executive of Def Jam, that shaped
He didn't have anything to do with that.
Hold on, I'm getting to that part. That shaped and molded Jay-Z, DMX, Missy, Mobb Deep, all that Kevin Lyles was in a group that his song was sold to Milli Vanilli. And that's the Milli Vanilli Girl, You Know. That's the same song?
Exact same song.
Get the
I broke the record
outta here.
when. All right, let's go back. Let's rewind the tape.
No,
a little bit.
I'm gonna stay right there.
No, listen, we got to rewind the tape a little bit so I can bring it all together. Remember when I told you I was playing at a club called The Room. This was in from 82 to 86. This had to be around 1985.
Damn, I'm mad we ain't got no alcohol. This story would be so much better. No, I'm good.
This Vex wants to give you
We good, Vex. We good.
an assist. But
I
anyway,
want to stay where he at, 'cause I might be all the way up here floating and shit. And Kool gonna be right here.
I broke the record, Girl, You Know It's True. It used to be signed to an independent label from here called Studio Records, a guy named
The
Steven.
Kevin Lyles record.
Yes,
Okay,
the New Marks
Was they
record.
singing or rapping?
God, that was a long time ago. I think they were
Google
doing.
this shit,
I
man.
think they were rapping, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
There was also there's a legendary house, a club music DJ that came out of a group called DJ Spin, and we can get to that later. But anyway, Kevin Lyles was in this group. I broke the record. I brought them down to the Room. They were too young to get in the club, and my boss was like, "Look, I can't let them in here. Alcohol, this." And I said, "Look, they're not drinking none. They
gonna
get
perform and
thirsty."
rock and
No,
rock.
I didn't even want them to perform. I wanted people to just see who they were.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? This is the group. This is the New Marks. This is the record that y'all are crazy about. So they let them in, let everybody see him. So let's fast forward up to 2001, right? When I had the record with Redman, Let's Get Dirty.
Oh shit! I forgot. One of my favorites.
Okay.
Redman's gonna be here in like a week or two at Howard
good.
Theater.
Yeah, he
Him
is.
and
He is,
Matt.
him and Meth. So I was at 12-inch Records, piece to Arrest Division, and getting some records. I get a call. It's Kevin Lyles. Kevin Lyles, I said, "I want to talk to you about something." I said, "Yeah, you do have something you want to talk to me about, don't you?" I said, "What you need to be talking to me about is get me over there at Def Jam, because y'all ain't got nothing over there like me." He said,
That's not what he wanted to talk to
he
you
said,
about, though, right?
"Well, I don't know,
it
because
was layered. It was layered.
yeah, I think he says, well, you're right about that." He said, "Because for real, he said, you was the one that put me on when I was a youngin'." He took it all the way back to that story that I just told you. So I said, "Well, look, man, you know who to call." You know what I'm saying? My management never got that call. So I would see him from time to time. And
So what did he call you for? Just to...
we're going to get to that.
You're like a mystery writer over here. Like,
Now these are the
on the edge
mysteries.
of my
These
seat.
are the
I'm like, I
mysteries.
might need a drink.
It's coming to me. I seen him from time to time when me and Doc was touring, when we was doing the Let's Get Dirty thing and whatnot. And every time I would pull him to the side and say, "Look, man, I need to holler at you," because I wanted him to tell me what that phone call was all about. All right, I'm gonna holler at you. Never saying anything. So I'm thinking.
Straight executive mode.
I'm
at
thinking
that point.
this. I'm thinking this because shortly after that, that's when he parted ways with Def Jam. Remember, here comes Jay-Z.
Right.
So I'm thinking at that time, he probably didn't feel like he was able to come to me and say, "Cool, man, I want to do something with you, but I can't."
Because I'm on my way out the door.
You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But my thing is this: you can talk to me. I know you from here.
I think, sometimes
what
the
I'm saying?
industry shit, like the, you got to pick a side.
I'm like-
either you with the artist or you with the company.
I mean, my thing is this though, Steph. It's like if you feel like you cool with me like that or what have you, and I don't want to talk to you in front of everybody. No way. Just pull me to the side and tell me what's going on.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, I ain't mad at you, as opposed to just being so evasive, like make me feel like I'm chasing you. I mean, I don't have to chase you. I'm doing all right. Would
Did
be
you eventually
nice.
find out what
No. Never
this
spoke
day?
To this day. I seen him.
that would have bugged me. I'm
the
not one of
last
those
time,
people, man.
the
You would have had to
last
tell me.
time, no, man, I let him handle it, Steph.
Yeah.
Your boy good.
I'm sorry, like
Your
that's
boy
like
is
when
good.
like, people call you up and like, yo, I gotta tell you something. I'm gonna hit you right back. Hell no, you like what? You gotta tell me right now.
But see, once again, just like I said earlier with the first Def Jam story, with the Rockefeller story, same thing with this story.
The funny shit is the artist coming right after you is a Kevin Lyles artist from 300 Entertainment.
Okay.
That's the funniest shit about this whole fucking story. And it just ran across my mind like, oh my God, the next artist is.
I mean, had I become a part of that situation, then ain't no telling what would have happened to me.
So for real, what you're telling me those 2-3 stories is that
And I got
you're
more than
really
that.
Neo. You beat the Matrix. Like you dodged the bullshit. That's what you really telling me, right?
For the most part.
For the most part. Wow. I love stuff like that, kid. And I'm happy it actually worked out for you. Your biggest record to date, of course. I mean, you can't even clear your throat without niggas thinking you warming up or some shit like that. Am I correct? Let me clear my throat. Now, I'm going to bring it back because we were talking about Jack the Rapper. And I remember you telling me at Jack the Rapper that you was about to do this record. Yo, I'm about to do this record. I'm going to record it live. And back then it was like, record it live? Like, why would you do that?
That might have been 20-minute workout I was talking about back then.
20 minutes. It was 20 minutes. Damn, your memory is good than
Because
God.
that was 90,
See,
that was
shit,
like
this nigga
93,
memory is
94.
crazy. So,
was a
okay,
20-minute
my bad.
workout.
You're right. It was 20-minute workout. Let me clear my throat. Why did you decide to do that live? And why did you decide to do it in Philly?
Wow, I got all these long stories. But it starts
Give us
with
the cliff
it,
notes. Or the long version. I don't care, whatever you feel like sharing.
it starts with 20-minute workout. We recorded 20-minute workout live in Richmond, Virginia at a club I used to rock at called Ivory's, right?
Okay.
Now we talking about
And it was a 20-minute record.
no. 20-minute workout is a title from what's so girl named Jane Fonda in the 80s.
Oh, shit,
Had
not the-
had workout videos and she called them the 20-minute workout.
You
Which is
finna crush. You just crushed a lot of people who thought that was like, your indexed short
And this-
version
and
of
this-
your club performance.
this thing I used to do rocking
Jane
over
Fonda,
the,
don't come at my man for a check. Hey, bitch, you got
it's
enough money.
way too
okay?
late for that. But anyway, that's what I call the routine that I used to do over the Dougie Fresh I'm Getting Ready beat, which was produced by Red Essence and everything. Yeah, they
Oh,
produced I'm
hell
Getting Ready.
no, I ain't know that either.
They produced that. They
So
were the
to
group
find out
Red
a lot of
Essence.
shit that I just don't know. Like
That's what you need me for. Steph.
exactly. I need to come in pocket style. Cool.
Cool.
All right. Coolopedia. Coolopedia.
So
Okay.
anyway, I did a 20-minute workout record, and at the end of it, matter of fact, even before then, this was a routine I used to do in this club every week. Matter of fact, I started doing it up here at Triples,
Okay, I remember.
right? I used to do it at Triples, and I used to do it at the Ibex. So then when I came to Richmond and started working at Ivory's, I kind of brought that routine down there. And if you know that record, I'm shouting out DC in the house, New York in the house, Virginia in the house. All right, so this one particular week before we recorded 20-minute workout, I was doing a routine. I had been at the club probably about a year at that time. I would use 900 number as like a segue track to go into like my hip hop set coming out of whatever set I was in.
Okay.
So I dropped 900 number and I'm getting ready to say something, I don't know, whatever to the crowd. Something actually got caught in my throat. This is a very real
Are you
story.
telling me that this shit really happened, Kool?
Let me tell you what happened. I coughed. It's crazy, but it's true. I coughed, and the rest of it is just a bunch of ad-lib stuff. Let me clear my throat and whatnot. But where I got to let me clear my throat line was from the Beastie Boys. It's the new style.
Hey, easy, nigga. These niggas gonna get at you, bro. You can't say shit like that nowadays.
It's out
niggas
there.
Be chasing checks.
It's
like,
out there. They ought to
chase
know.
ambulances.
They ought to know.
Easy.
They ought to know by now. It's 20-something years later. So just as an ad-lib and all the rest of that, have mercy, baby, hope it don't mind. That's Chuck right there. Just his little, what I like to call Chuck Brownisms.
So you mean to tell me, let me clear my throat wasn't mapped out? That was an ad-lib?
That was an accident.
Stop
ad-lib,
it.
whatever. So this what happens.
Anybody been here believe that?
This what happens. You might as well believe it.
God
Because
damn.
it happened. So this what happens. So the
Kool,
next
you're
week.
a genius if that shit was just a freestyle in essence.
It's just something that happened in the club that night. So then the crowd would come up to me because I was working there every week. I had a real big college night there. People come up, Kool, you gonna clear your throat this week? You gonna clear your throat? I'm like, what are they talking about?
Caught on, okay.
What y'all talking about? Oh, remember? Oh, okay, yeah. Why not? So then it came time to record the record, the 20-minute workout record. So I did the routine the way I normally do, and at the end of it, I put the 900 number thing, and we did a little clear my throat routine. All I had was the hook and the track then. I get a call from a DJ that was on air in Philly, Power 99, Don Mystic Mac. He was like, Kool, you got these people in Philly going crazy over this go-go thing. He was talking about 20-minute workout.
Right.
Excuse me, but then he said they really going off on this thing you doing over 900 number when you be coughing, talking about clearing your throat and all that. He said you need to come to Philly. You know how the radio stations had these big shows and whatnot.
Yeah,
with all
Summer
the
Jam
and like that
right.
type thing. They used to do a thing called Powerhouse.
They still do it.
Okay,
Shit,
so then there you go.
They still do it.
So doing Powerhouse, I said, man, you need to come up here and see it. So me and my DJ at the time, 20, we goes to Philly. So we sitting there in the Core States arena at the time. 16,000 people in there. DJ Rand up there DJing the intermission. He rocking some joints. He puts on this Clear My Throat snippet, which is all it was.
DJ Rand, he
Here
wound
come-
up being the DJ for the WWE.
Here come everybody, the whole 16,000, everybody up like this.
Off
Me
the
and-
900 joint?
Yeah, me and 20 looking around like, what the hell? So I was like,
So did you
ding.
think it was the beat, or did you think it was?
Well, it might have been a little bit of both because,
Right.
just like I said, they were used to it by then.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because that's why he told me to come up there so I could see the response.
Oh, okay.
So I said, all right, we need to make this a song now. So I wrote a verse, right, which is a little 16-bar verse in the original version of it. And I say, we need to record this live in Philly.
Because they was already here.
They was already on it. You
Right.
dig what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm like, so they had a show.
So you didn't get no shit from that, from people from the DMV? Like, damn, Kool, you should have recorded that here.
No. Because we did some in the DMV. Well, later we did this record, which we'll get to in a minute. We did this one. We did I Got That Feeling in Baltimore.
Okay.
I have a Frank Ski story attached to this.
Okay.
Which is good. So anyway, we did the record at Bahama Bay, and if you listen to the record, you hear me shout out to Bahama Bay in Philadelphia. It was like 5,000 or so.
But
people
of
there
that record,
night.
you know what gets the most shouts? New York.
Yes.
I've heard that every time, anywhere to pump a crowd is New York in the house. Do you get paid
Well, that's
for
our
that?
20-minute workout.
Do you get paid for that? See, I'm meshing them.
Probably not. No.
You don't get paid for
Not for what people are saying.
No, I mean, them views in your shit like at an
Oh,
NBA,
yeah.
at an NBA game, like
Yeah,
at a
yeah,
Knicks
yeah.
game,
Yeah,
that shit is
yeah.
like, they play that 10 times
All of
a
that
game.
is all of that is through publishing. You know what I mean?
Make some noise in
And
there.
there's
Oh,
Jim-
like-
yeah,
Yeah,
stuff like that.
that's from Clear My Throat. Yeah, that's through publishing because it's going across the airways, just like you said. So I go home, And we recorded the record, and the record came out, and that was 1996. The rest is kind of history, I guess.
That was your biggest record.
Definitely.
I would definitely think that.
Mm-hmm.
How far did that record take you? Like, what is the most insane thing that you remember about that record being hot? Like, the biggest club or the craziest venue? I know you was overseas. I mean, that record really, circled the globe.
I think, some of the biggest crowds that I've been in front of, 90,000 at Summer Jam one year.
Shit.
When DMX first came out with Get At Me Dog. When I first met Jay-Z with 50,000 in what was then Ericsson Stadium in Charlotte. I think one time overseas when I first met Wu-Tang, we was in like 70, 80,000 in Rotterdam and a bunch of other big shows.
And a lot of those artists, did they understand go-go? Did they get you as a go-go artist? Did they even understand that aspect of it?
It's for me, they knew that I had a go-go aspect to what I do, so they couldn't.
Because I didn't know what go-go was till I actually moved here.
Yeah.
I didn't get it. Like, I knew Chuck Brown busted, like I said, busting loose, and, live instrumentation with the African drum kind of situation. But that was about it. That's all we,
No,
I wasn't hip to none of the other bands, none of that shit, nothing.
No, they. I think they recognized the fact that I took both the genres and blended them together. And then, as a matter of fact, I remember Herbie Lovebug came up to me one time and say, that's why I got the concept for doing records like the Salt and Pepper records, the Kid and Play records, and whatnot, from coming down here.
The call and response.
Well, no, using the go-go beats in records like Rolling with Kid and Play, or in records like Shake Your Thing with Salt and Pepper.
But
or
Shake, that's what I'm talking about. A lot of Salt and
nice.
Pepper records was call and response between them two.
Well, but I'm talking about
You're talking about the production aspect.
The production, you know what I'm saying? Using the go-go beat with the hip hop, and say, man, I got that from listening to your records back in the day when I used to come to DC and
sound
hear
like you got a lawsuit, kid.
And hear the bands.
I mean, you just admitted that.
I like
niggas out here petty,
I like to think of it as I guess if I can quote Busta Rhymes by saying I see my influence still shining. You know what I mean? That don't bother me. I'm blessed and I'm just here to. What we talking about earlier, being the facilitator. Yeah. You know what I mean?
We covered a lot of go-go. I mean, we took it all the way back to the absolute beginning with the go-go, but we didn't touch too much on the hip hop. So I want to start by touching the hip hop. I had to bring this back.
See, everybody got one of these except me. This is just not right.
You did. I had to pull it out. No pause. Right. So we had Tracy Lee on the last episode, and I found an old poster with him and Big, and then I was like, oh shit, cool. Like, this was like the first poster, probably one of the last, and everybody signed it. This was the original.
Did I sign this?
You signed it. Cool. Okay, here goes Score. Maybe you the only one. Are you down there?
Nope.
Cool. I could have swore you signed this.
Nope, I did not sign it.
Well, you gonna sign it today, goddamn.
I was about to say I've never seen it, but
so
I
that's
will sign it.
DJ Flex, right? He only did afternoon, part-time. That's when my name was Lover.
Yep.
Who remember Doug Lazy, huh? DJ CeeLo 456 him.
Doug is in Atlanta right now.
This was the first hip-hop station in D.C., more or less.
Yep.
And I was happy to be a part of it. And, okay, let me get into my emotional DJ Kool story real quick. Because I have to tell a story because Kool is such a good person. And I feel like you haven't gotten the due. You have, but for all the records and the influence you just said, you deserve so much more. So we're up at 1580 PGC AM. And, I'd never done radio. I'm fresh out of college. I'm like 2 weeks out of college, broke as a bag of glass. Don't even remember how I got to Greenbelt because I used to live in Northwest DC. So we're in a big meeting. Everybody's in the meeting. Everybody's super excited. I'm kind of like, I'm going to get to pay my rent this month instead of calling my mom, So I'm that excited. So we all go to eat. And it was me, you, and maybe like Rick Baby Chill or somebody like that. Rick is actually the producer for the Donnie Simpson show right now. See, I do remember and know where folks is. So we go out to eat. And I'm embarrassed because I didn't have any money to buy lunch. Like I said, I'm fresh out of college. I probably spent my last to get to the radio station, and I was gonna try to talk somebody into giving me a ride back to Northwest. That's how like one-minded, tunnel vision I had. So we're up there, and you asked me like, Steph, you ain't gonna eat, and I was like, I kept it funky. I was like, nah, I ain't, I tried to play it off like I'm not hungry or whatever. And he was like, girl, you ain't hungry. We just been in this bitch for like 4 hours. Like, you ain't gonna eat nothing. And I was like, I ain't got no money. Like, just like fell on the sword kind of shit. Like, I ain't got no money. He was like, girl, what eating? This and that. And a college student, I'm like, oh shit, Kool said eat. I'm gonna, wherever we at, I ate. And you said something to me that resonates with me every time. Every time I'm fucked up or I'm about to make a big move or something. You said, don't worry, it's not always gonna be like this. Mm-hmm. I swear to God. And I mean, I get so emotional because I remember like looking at you like, fuck you talking about? Like, it didn't, like I didn't get it. I'm like 22, like, no, it's always been like this, fucked up. Like, I hope, you know what I'm saying? Like, what do you mean? So you had some insight even then that I didn't even see. Like, I didn't see that in myself, that I could be that good to really do this for a living. That to me was just like a couple dollars, till I could find a job. That was bullshit, really. It was play. And you saw it like you could do this stuff. Like this could be you, and remember, if you just keep moving forward, like nothing stays the same in essence, is what I got out of it. So thank you. I don't know if I ever said that. Thank you for that meal. I was hungry back then, I ain't even gonna lie. You saved me. But you also fed me in 2 different forms that day. And I always, that always stuck with me, that it was nothing to you. You was like, you fed me and you dropped that jewel on me that really, is part of my DNA. That's what I think about when I'm going through shit. I'll be like, man, it ain't always gonna be like this.
That's right.
I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Like, can't wait to see what happens next.
Well, that's just faith-based thinking. You know what I mean?
Because we didn't know what this shit was gonna be. We didn't know what 1580 was gonna be.
Just
you
like
know
I
what I'm
said,
saying?
for me, this is crazy because I was only there 3 months. But I like to say I got my daughter out of it.
I was about to say, I wasn't gonna say nothing if you wasn't gonna say nothing. I do remember that you had a
child's
little,
mother here.
At that point you had became a dad, and that became more important to you than
2 years later.
Yeah. But you was working on it.
Yeah.
You was working on it at that point. I do remember that, at that point you was like, you know what? Because we was a struggling station. We was, we was at the bottom of the barrel. And it was a lot of footwork. And you was like, you know what? Listen, I'm used to eating at a little bit higher on the food chain than this shit. You know?
This right here for me, just like I said, I got approached about this situation. And I was like, I'm not really a radio person. I never had any aspirations to do radio, ever. Because I'm so used to being in the streets. I'm so used to being in front of people, getting, instant gratification. For me being a club DJ all those years, I tried, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Because they were just trying to use my name that I had at the time. So
See, I didn't even know that back then.
I'm like, okay, no problem. So I did it, didn't like it, and that was it. And then I didn't realize, for me, you know what I'm saying? Here's a story about the Huckabucks. When their album first came out, they bought me the record. And I'm like, wow, this joint fire. This one fire. This one fire. This one fire. This one fire. Playing all these records in the clubs.
Was crazy back
clubs
then.
Going crazy. So then I come to WPGC at the time. I say, look, man, y'all playing this Huckabucks record? I'm saying, huh? Okay. So then I brought them up to the station, had them interviewed and everything. And then a month later, here come the FM talking about, Kool, you got that Huckabucks record? I said, I told y'all about that a month ago. What are you talking about? You know what I mean? So, Flavor 1580 thing. Once again, we just gotta show this.
You see, I got it framed.
This
is DJ. I don't know if you remember. This is Damon D. Damon now runs Music Choice.
I seen him in the summer.
So if Music Choice on your cable, all the shit that comes up, DJ Damon D.
Mm-hmm.
He is the VP of programming at Music Choice.
I seen him this summer in Brooklyn when I performed with Rasmus up there this summer.
Word?
So
that's my guy.
He's doing good.
I still holler at him from time to time.
But this right here for me, like, I remember back then when you first started, doing Flavor, you were nervous, a little bit nervous about going on the air.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, Steph, you're a vocalist. You were rapping back then.
I was an MC
I was
back then.
like, you used to being on the mic. Get on that mic and talk to these folks and whatnot.
After a while,
you know what I'm saying? And you loosen up and
yeah.
and there you go.
I didn't realize that you were only there for 3 months, though.
3 months. That was
That's
it.
crazy.
I was in and out.
That's
I
really
want my thing. Too confining.
So how do you feel about the hip hop coming out of DC right now? Because now you're the elder statesman, and you know what I'm saying, the bar is really high. People trying to reach, yourself. I would say, Nonchalant at this point. Wale is the latest. You know what I mean? But it's very far and few in between. So what's your take on hip hop in the DMV?
I think they still, nationally or what have you, and I could be wrong, but I think they still look at DC as a live entertainment town. You dig what I mean? And it's like, an MC coming out of DC. You know how when a dog can turn his head like trying to figure something out or whatever. That's the way they, because that's the way they was doing me back then. And then when I come up and say, now they do this. You know what I mean? There's a lot of talent in DC. There always has been. I think our DC music hip hop scene has always been very, very underground. I think when Wale came around is when it really started, getting a lot more light, because it was so many years between me and him.
Before Wale, it was, I want to say, like Section 8 Mob, maybe Nonchalant.
They had a touch. They had a little just in and out, you know what I mean? But from when I started to when this Wale thing, it's like light years. We got a DC artist here right now. Can he just come over?
Who's that?
Vex, this guy right here.
Vex?
Can
You
we
also
just
got
get him in
Boogie
here
Black
real
in the back?
Yes, we got them
Eddie
all
Black,
in here.
come on
we
over
got them
here.
all
We
in.
got
I didn't,
question mark asylum in the
because of the light, I
building.
didn't even see you back there, Black.
Get over, you in front of the
Come this
camera. Just
Black,
over
I did
here.
not see you over there because the light is in my eyes. Now I can see you.
This is the question mark asylum, 2/3 of them
Yes,
anyway.
sir. Yes, indeed. What up, Black?
Hey,
How you
look
feeling,
away now,
Yep.
everything's super fly.
Yes. So yeah.
What's up, guys?
What's happening?
When did y'all record come out?
95.
95. So
I remember meeting you at the station
Yes.
too, and it was like
Can
we
you hear
heard
them?
about you, but we seen you. You can hear. Hey, we heard about you, but we seen. When I met you, you was like, man, you know, like she said, you always teaching. It was all about if we took the time to listen. But you always dropped the jewel.
Thank you. I appreciate
You know
that.
what I'm saying?
That's what
how
I'm
did
here
I
for.
overlook question mark asylum?
Yep.
I'm sorry,
I
guys.
didn't see
And they in the
Black over there
building.
with the lights in my
Damn.
face.
That was my bad. Big up to question mark asylum once again. Can we give them a round of
Yep.
applause? Hey! And they got a new record out. 2
Yes.
for 1. Got
Two for a dollar.
2 for a dollar.
Yeah.
My bad. That's me. I'm always trying to get 2 for 1. Shit.
Look. Download it on all of your platforms. 2 for a dollar. And the video coming soon, too. All right?
Thank you. Pick up the question mark asylum,
Yes.
no doubt. And speaking of records, Kool, where you at with it? Are you still actively recording? Or are you just loving them good old publishing checks? And
It's a little bit of that, and I'm just on the road a lot. And
were you
everything.
like a smart businessman in keeping your, not promotion, all your masters and
Yeah, I
you
got
own all your stuff
yeah,
and all
I got
of that?
all my stuff. I did learn the hard way though. For me, it was music ain't loud enough. That whole first project. Dick DeBerry, who I spoke about earlier, he passed away
Can't trust a
some
nigga named
years
Dick.
ago. Dick.
Oh, I thought you said Dick the Berry. I'm like, you gonna get fucked every time, yo. I can't trust a nigga named Dick.
His name was Dick. Dick Steph. Focus. D-E-E-K DeBerry. May he rest.
Okay, my bad.
May he, okay.
Sorry, D.
May
Sorry,
he
D.
may he rest in peace.
Okay.
But he was
But
an
that was
old
the
school
norm
guy.
back then.
Yeah. I mean,
They
we
was
talking.
raping, pillaging niggas back then.
We
They-
talking.
yeah.
But see, this guy, he was he had a little indie record label. As a matter of fact, he was from right out here in Greenbelt, Maryland at the time. He's from North Carolina. And to me, I mean, if it weren't for D-Berry, for real, you wouldn't have DJ Kool as an artist. You might not. I'd probably still be. You know what I mean?
And that's
so
what
he gave me my start.
Let me tell you, a lot of artists don't understand that. You're gonna get jerked on your first record. Mm-hmm. You're gonna get jerked on your first contract. Mm-hmm. You're gonna get jerked. It's just, can you bounce back from that? I'm honestly like, my first contract at 1580 was 18 grand. Mm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And they only gave me that because I had clocked like 120 something hours, and it was cheaper to put me on salary than it was to pay me hourly, because we was slave labor back then.
I don't even remember.
I remember that, and I was so ecstatic because I could budget how much money every week that it wasn't up in the air depending how many hours. So I do remember that part of it. So I don't think a lot of those guys did it intentionally. I just think that they didn't share the information. Like, well, fuck it, if he don't know, then I'm gonna give this money. When he find out, that's on him.
For me, my stuff didn't start getting right till probably around 94, around 20-minute workout time. Big shouts out to my current management right now, Walt Reeder Jr., Big Block Entertainment. He's been with me close to 30 years now.
Wow.
Okay. You know what I mean? He's like, that's the family right there.
And you need somebody, yeah. You need somebody to be the bad guy and the smart guy.
Yeah,
while you're being the artist.
That's what he is, you know what I mean? And so I thank God for him every day.
So are you putting out new music, or are you retired? Is it?
I'm not going to retire. I'm following this guy right here. I'm going to retire when they put me in the ground. That's Chuck right there, because a lot of people don't know.
Find him, Chuck.
Yes, indeed. I don't know. The temperature has changed so much in this industry.
But you still perform, because I saw you at the Beyonce concert when she called you out.
Oh, get out of here.
Yeah, she called you out. When Khaled and her were on tour, and whatever city they was in, they got the hottest niggas in the city, old or new.
Yeah.
And she called you.
Yeah.
You was there.
So I'm still, performing a lot. Still, doing a lot of club days, like DJing a lot. Like, for an example, I leave here Friday going to LA for an All-Star weekend. So I have something there. Then shortly after that, CIAA weekend, which is always crazy for me. I have 9 parties for CIAA.
What? I'm fucking with your CIAA.
I'm telling you,
HatsANdHeels will be on the road from February 29th to about March 5th, right?
So
9 clubs? What? DJing or performing?
DJing from Thursday to Sunday. Thursday I have 2 parties. Friday I have 3.
Nigga, they gonna have to clone you if you're doing 9 parties in 4 days, Kool.
I got a pretty strong team though. Pretty strong team. They
Yo, Kool, God bless you. Like, for real, that's super dope for me, because, a lot of artists, when they don't have a record out, they don't know how to maintain. You know what I'm saying? And it starts to look really crazy when you see beloved artists, and you're like, damn, you know what I'm saying? I would never want to see you like that. You know what I mean? And I know you never gonna be like that, because you know how to, self-preserve and stuff like that. You got anything coming up that we should know about? Because your voice is exceptional. I always wondered why you never did voiceovers or cartoons and things of that nature.
It's kind of fun you mentioned that. We haven't.
And I don't even know. I'm just fishing right now.
No, we're working on that right now. I'm working on getting a voiceover agent right now in LA. So that's the Big Block Entertainment side of things, that's going to work. So we are working on that. As a matter of fact, when I was on the, I just got back. Well, not just got back, from maybe about a month ago. Got back from the I Love the '90s cruise and everything. And let me show you something.
I love the '90s cruise.
Yeah, which is an actual tour. But I'm gonna show you something that was crazy. This was the first year that they had it. But I was talking to Tone Loc, and he's done voiceover stuff as well.
Hell yeah, Tone Loc.
So
Tone Loc been on cartoons and shit for years.
We're talking. Come on.
Shout out to the kid Boogie Bird in the house.
So there you go.
Where you at?
This is called Ship Hop.
Oh, okay. I seen him come in. Damn, Vanilla Ice, Salt and Pepper, Naughty by Nature, Cisco, Raw Bass, Biz Markie, Color Me Bad, Young MC. Holy shit.
So that is a
My
tour.
mom might have been on this shit right here.
That's the first year. This is the first.
Wait a minute. Hosted by Downtown Julie Brown.
Yes.
Say word. Word.
So we won that. So actually.
So what was the median age on that cruise? About 60, 55.
I would say no, for real. No, I would say 30 to 60.
Right.
30 to 60. So the actual I Love the '90s tour goes out again this summer, and they've actually made me a part of it.
Wasn't it on like VH1?
Well, they have this is the third year for I Love the '90s tour, but I've been at it for this next one coming up. So we started in June, so I'll be on the I Love the '90s tour with this package right here.
Damn, Kool. I mean, what haven't you done? God damn. Like, I don't know. I've covered everything. Anybody want to throw something out there? Anybody want to ask Kool something?
We had a pretty big movie.
Because I don't want him to leave and we done forgot something.
That I had a very good placement in 2 years ago called Office Christmas Party, which was number 3 at the box office that year up on the Star Wars and Disney's Beauty and the Beast.
So you still cashing them checks is what you're saying, huh?
That did
you see Shorty ain't lacking for nothing, you know what I mean? Came up in here fresh and dead like, you know, people, you know what I'm saying? It's different, you know, when you've been eating for a while.
So that's doing well. And then we also got a placement for a few video games through EA Sports, which was NHL Hockey 17, Major League Baseball 17. We got a placement. I think Ellen DeGeneres.
Do y'all notice how he continues to say we? You do know you're a solo artist,
well,
right?
no, but I'm talking about we as in me and my management company.
We all know what you mean, but that's just the beauty of you, Kool, is that it's never I. I have a. Did y'all notice this whole interview? He said we pretty much on every response.
Can't do it by yourself. You just can't.
Say it one more time, God damn.
Cannot do it by yourself. You really can't, because if you do, then you're gonna miss something.
Yeah.
You're gonna screw something up. You know what I mean? I cannot be artist and manager. You know what I mean?
I just learned that a few years ago. Like, I used to be like super hands-on, and then I realized like I turned into the bad guy once I start negotiating or something heavy starts popping off. You know?
It's nothing wrong with knowing what's going on. You know, I mean.
I play dumb now.
You dig what I'm saying?
Like the promoter be like, you know, my manager told me, oh, the money's fucked up in the promoter car. I be like, y'all really want to do it? Work it out. I swear to God. Because I don't want to be like, bro, I'm not coming out for, you know, that price, you know, that kind of thing. I've learned, you know, but before I used to be like, you fucking crazy. I'm on Hot 97. I'm on Power. I'm on, and now I'm off. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, motherfuckers wait for that steep cliff. You know what I'm saying? And yo, I remember that from when what's the girl Olivia was on with 50 Cent. Boy, she used to be cause she had, you know, all these niggas. Then when she wasn't on there no more. Woo! I seen them niggas turn on her crazy, and I was like, damn.
That's how I go down.
Let me remind myself not to do that. Let me get some something in front of me, so you know what I'm saying, to clean it up nice.
We got a few things going on. We just we got a situation going on with Ellen DeGeneres where she wants to use Clear My Throat for 2 years, so she signed off on that. James Corden, same thing. There's a bunch of things in the pipeline. I got a song.
James Corden in the cars, right? Like he likes to karaoke in cars.
I got a thing that's that we're about to sign on with the NBA with a song that I produced for a group probably about 15 years ago, believe it or not. A song called Back Up Out My Way. Now the NBA wants to use it in some way or
getting
other.
That corporate Trump friend money. Shit. Them is Trump's folks and shit. They cutting Kool checks.
Working on some things.
That's what's up, Kool. I mean, shit.
So, I mean, I do have some new DJ Kool tracks. Honestly, I can't seem to get my pen to move in the way I want to. I think if for me, that's always been my handicap. When I do write, I can write.
Fire.
I can put that
Got
DJ
Kool
stuff together,
yeah.
But I have what I like to call a slow pen. And so I just let it come. I don't force anything. Some days when I feel like doing it, I do it. When I don't feel like doing it, I leave it alone because I don't want to. Because when you do hear it, then it's going to sound forced and it's going to feel forced. You know what I mean? All the stuff that I've ever done is because of a feeling. You know what I mean? And so.
Hey, and we feel it too. We've been feeling it, and hopefully we'll continue to feel it for a very long time. Once again, y'all, live on HatsANdHeels, DJ Kool, God damn it! Live right here, Step Lover, HatsANdHeels. Thank you, Kool.
Well, thank you.
Good
You
Lord.
already know.
Yes, sir. Yeah.